Welcome to the workshop, gentlemen. As promised, we received our composite panels on Friday. The floor and ceiling panels were the largest and most cumbersome, so those were the first to get installed and get out of the way, giving us some more room to work. It was pretty simple to use a circular saw, and then I used a pruning saw to trim right into the corners. Here I'm using a side grinder. I had to notch some of the areas where the welds were, just so it's that flush, flat against the subframe. Here you can see how it fits nice and tight there. Next was the wheel wells, done in exactly the same way. That's going to need some more trimming eventually, but it's good enough for now. That floor panel with the honeycomb and fiberglass laminated inside of it was very heavy. I'd guess that 11 by 7.5 foot piece was about 150 pounds, which isn't so heavy in the scale of a whole vehicle, but manhandling that by yourself is tough. So here's the other side. This would be the left-hand side, or the driver's side of the vehicle. After doing this all by hand with the pruning saw, getting into the corners, I realized I could have used my jigsaw, but whatever. Oh right, this is why I couldn't do it, because those have angles. Those wheel wells are cut at an angle, and so getting that right with the jigsaw would have been less fun. So there it is. Then I had my dear sweet chickadee get under the subframe with the Jiffy marker, and we outlined the position of all of the cross members. Then propped it up, and I used this SikaFlex 206 primer, which is a very thin, almost alcohol-y thin or acetone thin primer, and it goes on as black as night. It's ready in 20 minutes and it expires in 2 hours, so you need to work quick, which is why I have almost no footage of this. You can see on the panel there I used the disc sander to scuff up the areas between the lines that we had marked there, just so that we effectively used that very expensive primer. Here I'm using the Milwaukee adhesive gun borrowed from Regan. What a lifesaver that was. And then we had to press it down real good. Here we are shooting the ceiling panel in the garage door. I can't open that door because the box is too big. It interferes with the door opening. So I just took one of the panels off its hinge, flipped it down, and we carried it out into the back alley and slid it in on top, as you can see. So then the next day we had it propped up against the ceiling frame, and I pre-drilled all the rivet holes and then reamed them out to the correct size, 17/64 I think for those rivets. You can see there I've got it marked, and I peeled away the plastic protective coating. Here I'm cutting the angles so that they intersect the panels on the side correctly, which is tough to do with no table to work on, so I had to prop it up in midair there. And then of course a whirlwind of primer and adhesive. This primer goes on really nice. It's thick and black in one coat, but it runs down the handle when you're painting upside down, so that was fun. Then I got some military surplus rubber gasket material, and I used that as a spacer, and then of course the adhesive. and there's no video of the rest of it. We got the ceiling in. Happy times were had by all. Next, a quick recap as taken on my new GoPro. Enjoy. And it is now Wednesday. I thought I'd give you a tour and a little update. I've adhered the floor on, or bonded the floor to the subframe, so I don't need to have it up in the air anymore, which is nice. And the other nice thing is we've got the ceiling panel in, as you can see here. And the reason that's nice is those were the two largest and most cumbersome to handle, and additionally there was no room to even move in the garage. As it is, you could probably see I've got, you know, not much room to work. So it was nice to get those put in, because now they're out of the way and I can putz away finishing the rest of these smaller pieces. These tools that I've shown you before, some of them, this angle finder, and now I'm coming to start using this digital angle gauge. So you set it on the saw table deck and then set it on the blade, and sure enough it's 62.5-ish degrees. So that's really nice. Well worth the $50 combined that those cost on a project like this, that's for sure. Anyway, that's where we're at. A ton of panels yet to go, but I figured it was time for an update. In other news, difficult to see, but we received the doors. I have an entryway door and a second utility room / storage door I had made, so those are ready to go in. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.